So hi there, this is the next update number 2 from the Australian NGO Coalition. We've tried to get a nice little shot of all of the flags out the front of the UN behind us, so hopefully
except
you
the
guys
Aboriginal flag.
Except for the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander flag, of course. The perceptive of you now will know that I've got an extra person with us, Jacqui Zalcberg. So welcome, Jacqui.
Thank you, Ben. Yes, my name's Jacqui Zalcberg. I'm here representing Australian Lawyers for Human Rights, the international chapter, and assisting the coalition with the work around the UPR. So today, the most part of the work was trying to secure meetings with different missions and delegations, states delegations, to try and do a little bit of lobbying work around what then questions they'll pose and recommendations they'll make to Australia when the day comes. The practical side of what this means is that we have to run around a lot, try and corner people in the middle of the room, make sure we know who we're talking to when we approach them. So it was a little bit of a problem when we approached who we thought was Brazil, but it turned out to be Russia. But luckily,
that was a bit awkward.
It was a little awkward for a moment, but we managed to smooth over that one. And then a lot of phoning around, emailing, trying to catch people, calling up people on their cell phones, trying to convince them that they should meet with us and make the time to meet with us in the middle of their busy schedules. So it's a little bit chaotic, but I think we made some good appointments and there's a lot of meetings coming up for the next couple of days.
Indeed, and what's great is that Jacqui's both a fluent French and Spanish speaker, so it's great to have her with us to smooth over some of the relations with some of those countries, which has been great when approaching them and being able to speak to them obviously in their language. We've had a few good meetings over the last couple of days, mostly with a lot of the, I guess, European groups to date. We thought maybe just to give you a brief update on a couple of the meetings. We had a really interesting discussion with the US mission here. To talk you through that, obviously as people who'll be familiar with some of the UN goings on, diplomacy is always the key, so the US was very much highlighting that they'd be taking a very positive approach to Australia's UPR appearance. So we were trying, I guess, to subtly say it would be really great to obviously highlight some of the great things that the government's doing, like the new human rights framework, but perhaps they could also make a recommendation about the decision not to adopt a Human Rights Act. So it's interesting having those discussions and going back and forth and doing it within the confines of, I guess, the diplomatic language that goes on here, but also trying to get some really concrete recommendations that obviously we can go home and use in our domestic advocacy as part of the NGO coalition.
Yes, well, of course, it's 1 week away now from when the examination on Australia will occur. And for those of you who are interested how this happens, the day before, the states have to line up to put their name down on a speakers list. And they expect that 60 states to speak on a state is about the maximum reasonable number. If it gets more than that, they've got to cut back the speaking time from 3 minutes to 2 minutes, or maybe even less. We expect that there'll be at least 40 states take the floor for Australia, but it probably will be closer to 60. And we're going to be encouraging those states to organise their questions in such a way so that all of the issues are covered, and so that the important points of priority areas are emphasised. So one of the first things we do when we walk up to the states is, are you planning to speak on Australia? If not, do you think you can speak, and so on. So it'll be a big event, and of course it's going to be webcast, so those of you in Australia who want to stay up and watch, it'll start about midnight, I think, in Australian time, but you can then watch the next couple of hours of these examinations.
So thanks for tuning in again. I hope you're I hope you're finding these updates useful. If there's anything you want to hear about in terms of some of the more specific aspects, feel free to shoot us an email and we can perhaps provide a bit of a further update. If you found nothing interesting at all about what we've said, then hopefully us being able to fit in the flags in the background has been useful for you. So enjoy the view, and thanks once again for tuning in. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, see ya.